Good. Nathan, your non-moustache looks cute. Tom, your beard and moustache look cute.
Thank you.
Oh, was that Claire's deep baritone? No. So Claire, can you speak? Are you wrestling? You make it sound like you're wrestling a dog.
I don't see her. Is she in?
You're not in? Okay. Can I just stress, by the way, if you see me in my house, this is my gardening jumper. Like, I always have other jumpers underneath it, but like I wear this when I go outside, so like if I don't snag the wall on anything. Do you know what I mean? So like, don't think, oh my god, the dirty sod is always in the same jumper. It's like, it's almost like an over thing for gardening and stuff. I went to Scotland once with my aunt, who I love very much, but who's batshit fucking crazy. Alors, je suis allé en Écosse une fois avec ma tante, mais je l'adore, mais elle est folle, quoi. And she's driven like buses with, she's had a fabulous career. She's looked after like disabled children. Elle a une carrière mais formidable. Elle s'est occupée des enfants handicapés. Unfortunately, we still say handicapés in French. Like fucking whole vans, like 18-seater vans with kids. But she does this thing where she's like, I need my man. I can't exist without. I can't do anything without my man. Alors, tu vois, il me faut mon homme. Je peux rien faire sans mon homme. And the gears were a bit messed up on her camper van. Alors, l'engrenage était un peu foutu, dans son camping-car. And she had, what did she have? She didn't have third. She didn't have third gear. If you're American, this might not mean a lot to you. And I was like, dude, you don't need third. In Scotland, you'll either be on the motorway or the main roads, which would be like, so enter first, second. As soon as you're driving in, we'd be in fourth or fifth if it was straight, or you'd be going up like a cliff where you'd need first and second. So third is, if you had to lose a gear, third is the gear that you'd have to get rid of. Alors, s'il fallait quand même se débarrasser d'une vitesse, la troisième est ce qu'on choisirait à perdre. And she was just freaking the fuck out, like absolutely freaking the fuck out. Yeah. And so, and her boyfriend, who she was still with, had chosen not to come on this holiday. Alors son copain, elle sortait encore avec lui. Il avait choisi de ne pas l'accompagner. And I'd taken 2 weeks off teaching because she's like, no one wants to come with me on holiday. Alors personne ne veut partir avec moi en vacances. And as we were on the way up the motorway, she says, oh, we're just going to go meet my friend Chris. On va juste aller rencontrer mon ami. Toi, tu vas aller rencontrer mon ami Chris. And I was like, who's Chris and why are we meeting her? C'est qui Chris? And she's like, oh, Chris is coming with us. She's got her own camper van. I was like, bitch, I've just had 2 weeks off work for you to go with you to Scotland because you were complaining you had nobody to go with. I'm not paid and you're taking someone else with you. So I wasn't best pleased. Alors, salope, alors moi, je viens de prendre 2 semaines de congé parce que toi, tu te plaignais, tu disais que tu n'avais personne à nous accompagner. So anyway, she just fucking did my head in. And I was so like, I love you, but oh my God. And she kept sitting in her camper van saying, I'm going to push Chris off the cliff. I'm going to push Chris off the cliff. I was like, get some fucking help. Elle était, putain, je vais la pousser, quoi. Tu vas au-dessus de la falaise. So I was like, we were on the train station, which is one of the highest points that the train goes in Scotland. And I was like, fuck me. After this, I'm stuck. I'm like, I am stuck with her. And I love her dearly, but she was just in a really bad place. And so it'll come to me where it was in Scotland. And so I was like, fuck, I just can't do this. I just can't do this. Because I wasn't long divorced. And I was like, I don't need to keep hearing this narrative about, I miss him so much. Alors moi, tu vois, c'était pas énormément de temps après mon divorce, quoi. Donc, tu vois, j'avais vraiment pas besoin d'entendre ça. So I jumped on the train, and I said, I love you dearly. I don't want to fall out with you. I'm going to go. Alors, je t'aime fort. T'es cher. T'es quelqu'un de très important, de très proche pour moi, mais je me casse. I'm off. She threw her arms around my waist. She was like, don't leave me. They all leave me. Elle ne me quitte pas. Which is a Jacques Brel song. Ils me quittent tous. And I was like, your boyfriend is still with you. What is the problem? And so I got back to my other grandma's house. I got a really long train journey. I left all my shit in her camper van. And j'ai laissé toutes mes affaires dans son camping-car. And I turned up. I had the tracksuit bottoms that I had on and a t-shirt. Not even a sweater. Not even a sweater. And I went into my grandma's house, who was just like rocking in an armchair. Not this one, the other grandma. Alors, je suis arrivé chez l'autre grand-mère. And I was like, and I went and put my hand on her hand. And this is her mother. So this is the mother of this chick. C'est la mère de cette fille. And I went, Grandma, I'm really, really sorry. J'ai dit, alors, mamie, je suis vraiment désolé. And my other grandma, like this is the one by the Welsh border, c'est celle près de la frontière galloise. And she was like, well, I'm really sad. Alors moi, je suis très triste. I was like, I know you don't like it when people in the family have problems. She said, I'm really sad, she said, because your dad, your mum and I had a bet that you'd lost. No, she said, your dad, your mum and I had like a sweepstake. She said, I had you down as the week. Your dad thought you'd only last 3 days, and your mum said that your mum said you'd last 4 days. So she said, so I've just lost. So she wasn't like remotely bothered that like I'd left her daughter. She was like, damn, could you not have just gone a little bit longer? So I went to the local like fucking Kmart kind of Costco kind of bullshit place and just bought like, and this was the first, was it just before COVID? All they had in sweaters was like this extra large, known in America as a small. But they had this extra large sweater, and I thought, oh, I'll wear that for gardening and stuff. So weirdly, every time I see this jumper, I get this like flashback of like passing Loch Lomond and just being like, what the fuck? And there's this girl who sat opposite me. He was like, are you okay? Like, you know, Scottish, and she's like, you know, are you okay? Is everything okay? And all this business, and I was just like, so, good. Stuart, have you had a little chance to watch the video last week?
Yes, and I mean the thrill of Brendan saving this Frenchman's life. I have to hear the end of this. We didn't.
I asked earlier. Je lui ai posé la question plus tôt, and the boy's alive. Brendan won't be alive though if he tries to conjugate the they form of the passé simple incorrectly again. So Brendan, would you please say for me, they killed, using the verb tuer? What's they killed in the passé simple?
Ils tuèrent.
Jam, hat.
Oh, yeah. Ils tuèrent.
That's it. Just think of the vocal similarities between tuer, tuer. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. They danced, Brendan.
Ils dansèrent.
Good. They understood Stuart. Not they understood Stuart, as in they understood. Stuart, can you give me they understood?
Ils comprendirent.
Correct group. Good logic, because you've gone, well, it ain't the ER group, which goes A, am, at, air, and it ain't the U group. So correct group. What was my rule of thumb for the middle group?
Oh, compris. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So a lot of the time, even things that are down as irregular, I always teach, is there a form of that verb that sounds like E anyway? Yeah, that sounds like E anyway. So pris is down as an irregular. Yeah, but I'm a bit like, well, that's not irregular to me because j'ai pris is a form. So therefore, just do all 6 for me. Before you do comprendre, Stuart, could you just do je prie, tu pries? Could you just go down that one for me in the middle?
Je prie, tu pries, il prie, nous prîmes, vous prîtes, il priait.
Ils prirent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So therefore, Brendan, could you do I understood, you understood, they understood?
Okay. Je compris, tu
That's it.
Il comprit, nous comprîmes, vous comprîtes, ils comprirent.
It took me a few moments to try and work out how to do it. I was like, oh, okay, good, lovely. All right, excellent. Nathan, I came. I came.
Je vins, tu vins, il vint, nous vîmes.
You don't all come. This isn't a keys in a bowl job. I came. Lovely. That's fine.
Oh,
Lovely. Tom, you plural died, which might be somewhat precognitive as a kind of prediction if you fuck shit up. You plural died.
Vous mourrez.
Which group is mourir in?
In the E group.
No, it should be.
Oh, it's in the U group. It's in the.
It's an irregular, isn't it? Yes. Mouru,
Yeah.
mouru, mouru, mouru.
Mourou, vous.
Matara. Do we remember Matara?
Yeah, yeah. Remember Matura.
Mour.
Mour.
Look at Lukey, look at Lukey, look at Lukey. The Matara people is going on the end of your normal E or U. Mouru, morum, mouru, morut, mouru, mourur. Yeah, it's going on the end. Yeah,
Mourut.
right?
Okay. Vous mourrez.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Stuart. No, Brendan. We drove with more care than the drunk guy that was you know, who's fine, allegedly Stuart is fine. So we drove.
Nous conduisîmes.
Good girl. Irregular, because conduit is an E sound. Okay, good. Nous conduisîmes, conduisit, conduisir. Lovely. Tom, you look confused by that.
I'm always.
Is that your
I'm always
confused? Is
confused.
that just your face?
It's my confused face and my concentrating face are basically the same. So.
Did you see my Instagram about my grandma's figurines and they've all got resting bitch faces?
Oh, I did. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Hang
that
on,
was
I'll
very
show it you. It's so fucking.
Uh-huh.
Like, I stripped this place bare of all her figurines. She never used to buy this stuff. It's just like she got in with like friends that were like, when she moved here, translate, randomly pause, off you go. Let's translate into the passé simple. Brendan, she came here. So this is for books. This is a really niche thing to do. Not a lot of people can do this. And can I be very, very clear with you? I don't need you guys to be able to do this. What I need is for you to be able to read, as I was explaining to Brendan and the other group, to be able to read some stuff in the passé simple, as we're going to do, and then learn words from that, and then be able to do the oral version. So it's lovely to read a book. It's lovely to read expressions. All the vocab's great. It might be a little bit soutenu, a little bit elevated for everyday speech sometimes, but not always, not always. And we want to extrapolate most of that sentence and pop it into oral French. What we then need to do is just play the game of sticking the auxiliary back in. All right. But it's a really good tour de force to be able to speak in the passé simple, you know, just to lock it down. So Brendan. So lovely. So say for me, Brendan, I came here.
Je vins ici.
I came here. What was come in the past?
Vin.
Thank you. No U. It's its own irregular little group. Do you remember? It was underneath the rest. Vin, 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 vanme, vant, vinre. Lovely. Veni, vidi, you know. So, yeah, so I came here, yeah.
Je vins ici.
And consequently, convint, you know, devint, anything else that would contain venir. He became whatever. Il devint, you know.
Devint.
Lovely. Lovely. I came here. Tom, I got rid of. I saw lots of statuettes. I saw lots of statuettes.
J'ai vu beaucoup de
Je
statuettes.
vis. Do you remember that little
Je
irregular?
vis. I do.
Now, if
Je vis.
people worked out the fact that despite the fact I fuck around in vests in the summer and woolly jumpers in the winter, that I am actually a proper teacher, people would be like, and if I acted like a proper teacher, I'd be like, what's your batting average so far, you lot, and the accuracy of this homework? Yeah, when we learn shit, go away and look at irregulars, all right? Good, so off you go. So I saw, just say to me, I saw that she had lots of statuettes.
Je vis qu'elle a beaucoup de
Qu'elle
statuettes.
avait, because that's the description, isn't it? And that doesn't need to change.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Tom,
Yeah.
say for me normally orally, I saw that she had lots of statuettes. Say for me normally orally. Give me your normal oral, Tom. I'll just lie back. Just give me our normal oral. Could you please say for me, I saw that she had lots of statuettes? What would that be?
J'ai vu qu'elle avait beaucoup de statuettes.
There we go. Because you've been well trained by this gimp who works his arse off. Fine. You only need to change the passé composé into the passé simple, but as Bren will tell you, not all the time. All right. So lovely. So say for me, I saw that she had lots of statuettes. In a book.
Je vis qu'elle avait beaucoup de statuettes.
Lovely. Nathan, I realised that it wasn't what I wanted.
Je me rendu compte que c'était...
Bullshit. I can see the temptation. I can see the temptation. But no.
Je me rendis compte que
Thank you.
c'était pas ce que je voulais.
Good, go again.
Je me rendis compte que c'était pas ce que je voulais.
Lovely. Pardon me 1 second. So, although it ends in an U, so I'm just giving you guys that as a little thing in the group. Although it ends as an U, it's a regular verb, isn't it? Vendre, vend. Luke, speak French. Vendre, vend, vendons, vendez, vende, vendu, but it's regular. So therefore, middle group. Vendi. Okay. Where's your group? Pictures. Oh, Claire. She's always sending me naked badge pics. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. So say for me, I realized.
Je me rendis compte.
Good. So for example, fit, pris, rendi, eu, fut, all of these verbs, faire, prendre, avoir, être, whatever, where else do we tend to see these verbs, Nathan? Where else do we tend to see these verbs?
In ABC verbs?
Ish, in kind of compound shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when you have a compound, it's normally quite an easy ass verb. A little bit like in English. Stuart gets on with lots of colleagues. Yeah. Stuart got off with Lynn the night of their honeymoon. Stuart's like, no, I was exhausted. He's like, I let her sleep in the yeah. Stuart got on the train. Stuart got off at the, whatever, so-and-so street. Yeah. Okay. So come across, come up, come over. Or Brendan will always have the memories. Come down, come on. The same in English. A lot of compound verbs. The verb that we have. Let's be very careful. To some people, compound verb means compound forms, means verbs with auxiliaries. To other people, it means like verbs that use a preposition, you know, whatever. So the verb in it is a basic bitch. If it weren't a basic bitch verb, it's like a little black dress. You've got the little black dress, you can dress it up with a bangle or maybe a scarf. If it were a busy as fuck fucking dress, you ain't going to go OTT, because as Coco Chanel teaches us, when you leave a room, you take one thing off. I like to make it my underwear. So basically, you're not going to need all the extra bells and whistles if you've got an interesting verb. Most of the time, verbs with pronouns and shit going on and all of this kind of stuff is going to be, and I mean as part of the infinitive. I don't mean when you've got a verb that, because of how you're choosing to use it, then winds up with a "se" and an "on" because of the fact that you're buying yourself some. Yeah, je m'en achète, je m'en suis acheté. It's nothing to do with the verb acheter. It's just how you're using it. So yes, so in other words, be very observant in books, because you can learn a lot of phrasal expressions from books. All right, good. So Stuart, next thing for me. I wanted to get rid of them, and I mean as in when I saw them, I wanted to get rid of them. Off you go. I wanted to get rid of them.
Je voulu,
Good so far. Well done.
les
Pause. What's the infinitive verb to get rid of, please?
débarrasser.
It needs something on either side. ABC, ABC. Se débarrasser de. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, here I went. Je me suis sorry.
No. Just give me the infinitive. Se débarrasser de. Give me the infinitive.
Je voulais.
No. Just for prep, you're going to do it, so I'm not going to do it. But just give me the infinitive. Se débarrasser de.
Se débarrasser de.
Right, now, having done that, what pronoun am I going to use if I've got a se débarrasser de? What pronoun is going to be used for it or them?
De.
Which one?
Je me suis débarrassé de.
No. Well, right, using Lukey's method, what group are we in if it's something de? Red, blue, or green?
This is red, I believe.
Good man. And sometimes with a red, as you've correctly referred to, we don't allow ourselves to use the pronoun that we would otherwise use. We'll go to like a de lui, a del for people. Okay, but if we're using this de about a thing rather than a person, we are quite welcome to do this most of the time. So what's the pronoun I'm going to use, Stuart, with verbs that use de? What pronoun am I going to use?
En.
Thank you. So go again. I wanted to get rid of them.
Je voulu.
I'm going to need the reflexive pronoun for me and the reflexive. But that's it. That's but you're in the infinitive, madame. You're in the infinitive, so you don't need it. You're in the infinitive. Je voulus m'en
débarrasser.
That's it. It might seem weird speaking this method, but when you read the books, then it'll just feel much more comfortable. All right, good. Brendan, our hero Luke found several cardboard boxes.
No, notre héros Luc trouva.
Thank you. Don't fuck that up, because that's our main bad boy for the passé simple, isn't it? Most common verb, A, ERs. Most common dude, third person singular. Yep, our hero Luke found lots of cardboard boxes.
Notre héros Luc trouva plusieurs boîtes de carton.
Or just carton. Okay, fine. Okay, good. Okay, Tom. due to the enormous quantity of vibrators he'd ordered from suspicious Chinese websites. Due to the enormous quantity of vibrators, I like to treat women. I buy them a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. I do a nice moisturizer and something that vibrates for Christmas. Because all kids love the smell of plastic under the Christmas tree. Off you go. So because of the enormous quantity of vibrators I ordered from suspicious Chinese websites.
Vu la quantité énorme de...
Careful. Vu is lovely. La is lovely. Can we pronounce quantity properly?
Vu la quantité énorme...
We are not Susie Quattro, as cool as fuck as she was. Quantité.
Quantité énorme de... So straight. I don't know. Vibrato.
Oh, do you not know what a vibrator is? Oh, let me show you, Tom.
I don't.
Let me
Look, can you?
Vibromasseur. Vibromasseur.
Vibromasseur. Vu la quantité énorme de vibromasseurs japonais qui
that I ordered, but in the book that I ordered from suspicious Chinese websites.
Que j'ai commandé.
Good, lovely. Straight into the lovely from suspicious Chinese websites.
Que j'ai commandé de sites soupçonnés japonais.
De site? Just de site? What's going to come before the seat?
Oh,
des sites, yeah.
Des sites,
okay, yeah.
Des sites.
Okay.
Des sites japonais soupçonnés.
Suspicieux. As opposed to soupçonner, to suspect that something is going on. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
soupçonner is never the adjective. It's not an
not
adjective.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah. There's another word, but that's like dildo when it doesn't vibrate, which is like godniché or god, which is like, yeah. So the joke is like, did you turn to God? No, I turned to God. Like, yes, it's like, yeah. Luke's a top. I don't use this shit, but there you go. But I would do anything for love. Not the second line, but I won't do that. Lovely. Good. Keep going a few times round. Nathan. Luke wiped the cardboard boxes because you never know.
Luc emballait les cartons.
No. Number one, it'd be Luke emballa. It'd be like if it was like wrapped up.
Oh yeah.
But it'd be Luke wiped. What's the verb to wipe? You've just done it on your forehead.
Essuyer.
Lovely.
Luc essuya les cartons parce qu'on ne sait pas. Jamais.
We never know. On ne sait
jamais.
Lovely. Stuart, the neighbours appreciated the presents we're talking about. Oh, how lovely. And is this going to help my stiff neck? Said Gwyn next door. Yes, it will. Lovely. The neighbours appreciated the presents we're talking about.
Les voisins apprécia.
Almost good, not a bad instinct to go to the r. But remember that little bad boy on number 6, as Brendan will tell you, because otherwise he will be slapped. What happens on the last one? Apprécier.
Apprécier.
Good. Here's a little trick. The infinitive, apprécier, they in the passé simple, apprécier. Manger, manger. Yeah. Couper, couper. Tom's admiring my teaching abilities. Just got, oh, I like that, Luke. Yeah, it's just giving me a nod. Good. It's either that the Quaalude he took earlier is wearing off. Lovely. Lovely. So, apprécier. Claire has joined us. Lovely. I've been treading water until Claire arrived, actually, so we can do the passé simple stuff on the notes. Good. Lovely. Great. Now let's go to the... here's one I prepared earlier. If you'd just like to follow me. No, can we now go to the passé simple notes? Do you need sending them again? Or are they still in your reach and grasp from last time? Speak to me.
the one.
The file that I sent you. Have we got it?
I downloaded it.
Let me pop it. Have you got it?
I got up.
I downloaded it again about an hour ago, Luke. So I think it should still be there.
Nobody likes a brown noser, but well done.
I mean, if I said I downloaded it a few days ago, that might have been brown nosing, admitting to trying to catch it an hour before.
I am. Okay. What's a brown nose in French? Lèche cul, arse liquor, which is altogether much nicer expression. Lèche cul. But I am impressed with that. I think Brie had as well in the other group. Do you think, Brendan? Je pense que Brie elle avait quand même fait dans notre groupe because she was like making a big deal of like, you know, kind of like going to the pages. It was like, can you hear what I've done, Luke? And I was just like, yeah, as long as you fucking remember the shit. Good. I like my Brie. Right. So let me just find it for you. So the intermediate group. No, the other group. I'd like to call you advanced. So fucking work. Where's the passé simple shit? Where's it gone? Don't I send you a lot of information? Hang on. Let me find it. You. Oh, I know what I can do. I can stick it here in the Skype pitch.
It's the one you sent before. It's in the WhatsApp.
Well, I thought it was, but I think I delete stuff to get rid of because otherwise I just get sent so much like dodgy imagery. So I have to kind of like, you know, get rid of stuff.
You sent it while we were in the class. You sent it while we were in the class. So it's in,
I know, my darling Claire, but that was last week.
Oh.
And what I'm saying is I delete.
It's still there though. Well, it's still there in my messages.
Oh, you've still got it, but I'm saying have you all got it? That's what I mean. Have you all got it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I have it.
Obviously, nobody sexually desires any of you, so you don't get sent a shitload of dick pics. But I, on the other hand, loads of random weirdos off the internet. I'm not even joking. I get sent so much weird shit off the internet. I can't even tell you. I get sent so much fucking shit, and because my WhatsApp is available, I get sent so much sus material. Not even mean. They just seem to think I want this stuff. Right. Good. Lovely. So can we then open the passé simple and can we go to where we've just read 20, 20, 20, and we're now going to see 1, 2, 3. So we go into the first item of text underneath the conjugations. Yeah, you can tell me what that is. Okay. Yeah, can you see that?
I see it on our
I got up early. Can you see what it says? I got up early. Yeah.
I got.
Yep. Stuart, could you read that paragraph 1 for me? By the way, I really apologise. The formatting of this went a bit weird between two Word documents, versions of Word for some reason. So there's a few spaces missing in the second bit, but don't worry. It's up you go. So Stuart, could you just read the English for me?
Well, I think Nathan has a much more sexy voice.
Stuart, read. Go.
I'll go with it. I got up early this morning and left the house around 8 a.m.
Nathan is a young person. He won't get up any time early. You carry on, Stuart. And left the house going.
He's got the Pavarotti's voice. I took the bus to school. I dropped by the library, picked up 2 books, and then met some friends. We spent the day studying together.
It wouldn't work for Nathan. He hasn't got any friends. I can imagine meeting friends. No, I'm teasing. Right, off you go. Nathan, it could have been anybody. It was just a joke. You know, I consider you a close friend. Your parents pay me to be your close friend, so I consider you a close friend. No, I'm joking. So basically, can you basically now, Stuart, read the second one and acknowledge that the first one is how we'd speak in English? Yeah. Can you now go read the second one out loud for me in the normal French?
Je me suis levé tôt ce matin.
Good. Je me suis levé. Well done. Levé. Happy face. Happy face. Not levé. Levé. Yeah. Je me suis levé. Je me lève. Je me suis levé. Good. Carry on.
Tôt ce matin, et j'ai quitté la maison vers 8 heures.
Good. Nice join, Stuart. Very nice join. All right. Carry on.
J'ai pris le bus pour l'école. Je suis passé par la bibliothèque où j'ai emprunté 2 livres. Ensuite, j'ai retrouvé des amis. Nous avons passé la journée ensemble à Toulier.
Good. Something you're doing very nicely is you're not dwelling on the pronunciation of the auxiliary. We don't do that. When we learn it, we go j'ai mangé, j'avais mangé, j'aurais mangé, but we don't dwell on it. That's nice. All right. And there's a tendency in English speakers to think that you should, because in English we have the stress on the auxiliary when we have like you haven't sent it, you have, well done, or I did, or I had spoken to him. So we've got that in our kind of repertoire in English, but we don't have that in French. Good, lovely. Whilst we're there, a couple of things to draw your attention to. When you are reading, use it as a pronunciation check. When you're reading, look particularly, guys, at RE and DE verbs. Are we re, are we re, are we de, are we de? Notice there, guys, the 2 usages of the verb passer. Passer as in to pass in front of, by, whatever, être, auxiliary. Passer to spend time, avoir, yeah, all right. Notice the written option of the extra E, because obviously passer is a verb of motion. So if Claire said, I passed in front of Luke's house with, you know, whatever, binoculars. Alors, je suis passé devant la maison de Luc avec des jumelles. Female twins. Binoculars, jumelles. Lovely. Lovely. The appeal of which would be wasted on me since the age of about 24, but yeah, lovely. Off you go. Well, I don't know. Lovely. So Stuart, now could you read the passé simple version?
Je me levais tôt ce matin et j'ai quitté la maison vers 8 heures. J'ai pris le bus pour l'école, je passais par la bibliothèque où j'empruntais 2 livres. Ensuite, je retrouvais des amis, nous passâmes la journée ensemble à Toulier.
Good. There's some weird action going on in this house. I've had this house cleansed once. I just thought I'd tell you that, by the way. 2 really interesting women came round who were really very capable. Alors, 2 femmes super intéressantes sont venues au Vanre, yeah, in a book. Yeah. Yes. Good. Lovely. So again, my main point for you guys in the passive sample is to be able to read it and then go into the oral. But let's just carry on getting used to it a little bit. So Brandon, you did it. So let's go to someone that hasn't heard this bit before. So Tom, would you read the next thing straight into French?
Sorry. The Phileas Fogg bit?
Yep.
Yeah, cela dit, Phileas Fogg se
leva. Now, when we've got visuals, we use it as an opportunity to clean up our vowels. Cela dit, I want the slide and I want the depth of vowel. Off you go.
Cela dit, Phileas Fogg se leva, prit son chapeau de la main gauche, le plaça sur sa tête avec un mouvement.
Le plaça.
Le plaça sous sa tête avec un mouvement.
Okay, but still be human. Oui, alors Phileas Fogg se leva, I can't remember what it was, you know, tôt, you know, whatever, what is it, de la chaise, I can't remember what the fucking thing was, he took, yeah, I can't remember what the French was, but off you go. But I want to sound human.
Cela dit, Phileas Fogg se leva.
Not cela.
Se leva. Cela dit, Phileas Fogg se leva, prit son chapeau.
Luke, he's going to read it. I'm not being a dick. I can't do your job. Well, actually, I probably could do Tom's job. I just couldn't do other people. Writing shit in academia, I can do. Any other fucking shit, I can't do. I couldn't do Stuart's in a million years. Claire imports girls from Estonia and sells them to dodgy Aussie businessmen. I mean, I could manage that, but like, and she's very good at it. It's a bit harsh branding them with her initials, but you know, it's a nice touch. Cela dit, Phileas Fogg se leva, prit son chapeau de la main gauche, le plaça sur sa tête avec un mouvement d'automate et disparut sans ajouter une parole. Jules Verne, Le Tour du Monde en 80 jours, 1873. All right? So, cela dit, Phileas Fogg se leva, prit son chapeau de la main gauche, le plaça sur sa tête avec un mouvement d'automate et disparut sans ajouter une parole. Lovely. Have another little go, Tom, reading it through for me.
Cela dit, Phileas Fogg se leva, prit son chapeau de la main gauche, la plaça sur sa tête avec un mouvement d'automate et disparut sans ajouter une parole.
Good. Could you now read that again orally?
Do you mean turn it back into into different versions of the past?
Into an oral version.
Okay. Cela dit, Phileas
No
Fogg.
Cela. There is no Cela. Look at me, 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 look at me. Or for Claire, look at my, Kath and Kim. Celle-la is a different thing, isn't it? That one there. Celle-la. All right? Cela. That's it.
Cela dit, Phileas Fogg s'est levé, pris son
No, he didn't get washed.
chapeau.
He didn't get washed.
Levé.
Thank you.
Cela dit, Phileas Fogg s'est levé, pris son chapeau de la main gauche.
Après needs
a pris son chapeau de la main gauche.
And orally. It's a little bit more done to go. Il a pris and pop in a subject pronoun again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cela dit, Phileas Fogg s'est levé, il a pris son chapeau.
If you say cela dit one more time, I will send somebody armed with clippers and a Mach 3 razor, and I will write something fucking offensive to the local German community on your fucking shaved head.
Won't be very hard.
Yeah, that's good.
Cela dit. C'est levé.
Yeah, I want to hear the cela dit.
Cela
dit. Yeah.
Se lever.
Oh no, I'm on about the phrase at the beginning. Cela dit, you know, yeah. So cela dit.
Sorry. Cela dit.
Good. Now let's quickly talk about that expression. Don't confuse cela dit with ceci dit. So cela dit means whatever's come before. That said, as in that thing he's just said, as in no sooner has he said that than he went, right, okay, that's it. I'm off around the world. Ceci dit can sometimes be cela dit but that said, you know, yes, but on the other hand, you know, and that's nice for conversation. All right, good. Can we go, Claire, can you go please to the one which is we won't do the petit prince one because it's in the other one.
Sorry, I'm walking the dog, so it's a bit hard to read and walk.
Okie dokie, that's fine.
I'll be home in like 2 minutes. I'm just
oh, right,
up the road.
Good. I'll be with the doggies in 2 minutes. So basically, Brendan, could you go? Could you read the bottom one from that very contemporary bit?
Okay. La matériel. Le matériel était. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading. Remisé dans un hangar.
Hangar.
Un hangar fermé à double tour.
Lovely.
Surveillé par des soldats.
Good. Soft mouth.
Par des soldats.
Lovely.
La tuf déverrouilla la porte.
Good. Stand still. What infinitive is déverrouilla from?
it will be from déverrouiller.
Good man. That's all I want. Any idea what déverrouiller or déverrouiller means?
No, not really.
You see it all the time, people, if you own a phone. Tom, Nathan, any idea?
Means to unlock, no?
It means to unlock because verrouiller is to bolt.
Oh.
Yeah, to bolt.
Yeah, because it's a verrou. Is that a lock of some sort?
That's the thing. So it's that's the bolt. Yeah. So it's verrouiller. Okay. It's a trigger word for me because somebody who will remain nameless, my daughter, went to Disney with her mother, and her mother had said, "Okay, I'm going to speak in the passé simple." Her mother said to her, sa mère lui dit, "Okay, can I have a line tomorrow morning? Je peux faire la grasse mat demain matin." She responded, "Okay, yeah, fine, no problem." Elle répondit, "Okay, fine, pas de problème." Okay, but she decided to do something, a bit crazy. Elle décida de faire quelque chose de fou. So she got up early the next morning. Elle se leva tôt le lendemain, and she basically unbolted the door. Elle déverrouilla la porte. So this was at Disney, so there's like a kind of thing on the door. Alors c'était chez Disney, donc il y avait description, quelque chose au-dessus de la porte. Off she goes down the corridor, thinking she had entirely the right to go to breakfast at 6:30 because the buffet counter was lower, because obviously for kids. Donc voilà, elle prit le couloir, elle continua vers le restaurant. A guy saw her, un mec la vit. The guy said to her, le mec lui dit, "Do you want to come and play in the room? Tu veux venir jouer par ici?" She isn't stupid. Elle n'était pas stupide. She realized, elle se rendit compte, what the fuck, putain. She ran, elle courut comme une dingue, screaming, "Stay away from me, pedo man," even though she doesn't know what a pedo was then. She knows now, but she did. She goes to reception. Elle arriva à la réception. She says to the reception, "There's a scary pedo man trying to capture me." Oral French, referring to the French that's been said. So in the book, don't ever be afraid to read. Best thing you can do is find books with characters talking, because it's just, that's what people say, isn't it? So it's going to be a form of French that people say. Il y a un mec qui essaie de me prendre, qui essaie de me saisir. The guy looked at her in a weird way. Le mec la regarda d'une manière bizarre. He accompanied her back to her room. Il l'accompagna because he's like, "Well, you're 5," because she was 5 when she did this, 6 when she did this. No, 5. Elle avait 5 ans quand elle le fit, when she did it. Yeah, elle le fit. When he passed, so although he had not believed her, now, next week's thrilling installment, bien qu'il ne l'eût pas cru. Oh, what have we got there? We've got a subjunctive on the imperfect auxiliary, pluperfect style business. We've got all this kind of stuff going on. Interesting. That's for next week's thrilling installment. Okay, so your homework for this week. So basically, long story short, the guy was Dodge. I'm not going to give you the details online. I'll tell you guys privately, but he was really genuinely dodgy. Like, he was trying to take her. I'll tell you the other stuff afterwards. But she still thinks she's done something fucking amazing. She's like, and so she rang me. Elle m'appela, elle me téléphona. She said, "I've just caught a scary pedo man. Alors je viens de capturer whatever, un pédophile." And she said, "I just caught a scary pedo." I said, moi je dis, I said, if you think you caught a scary pedo man, that means that you were somebody tried to take you. Ça veut dire que quelqu'un essaie de te prendre. Mommy wouldn't use you as bait because she wouldn't do that in a million fucking years. Maman, tu ne servirais jamais de la part parce que bait, because she wouldn't do it. Elle le ferait jamais. Which means you weren't where you were supposed to be. Ce qui voulait dire, ou ce qui veut dire, non, ce qui voulait dire que tu n'étais pas où tu étais censé être. which means you fucking disobeyed mommy. Ce qui veut dire que toi, tu as désobéi, whatever. And she went, fuck, why are European brains faster? And I went, because they fucking are. Deal with it. And still, every now and then when she's talking to her best friend, she'd be like, do you remember when I caught that pedo? And the guy got arrested. Alors, you know, le mec se fut arrêté. Passive, passive, passive. Yeah, le mec se fut arrêté. Okay, lovely extra. A été arrêté. Yeah, s'est fait arrêter, se fut arrêté. And she's like, oh, do you remember that time I... And then catches my eye and I'm like, no. Or I'll be like, what are you saying to Sadie? No, 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 you did not. Do you know what I mean? Good. So we're going to go look at the doggies now. We'll do a little bit more passive sample as we're going. And then we'll wrap it up.
Bye-bye.
But good. But I want this for next time. Brendan, this includes you. I want you to look on the word reference and I want you to familiarize yourself. Who's at a laptop now rather than who is on a phone? Put your hand in front of your face if you're on a laptop. All right. So, Brendan, you're going to have to just listen to this back. So very, very quickly, if you go to this link here now, please, very, very quickly, I'll give you your homework. Good. So we're generally comfortable with finding the standard passive sampler, which is what we wanted for this week, having learned it next week. And we're going to look next week at the other literary tenses. So there's 3 more to come. They're decreasingly common. They're like, you know, increasingly rare, but just so we've got them all down. So could you just open that little link up for me? And then you can say that you know every French tense. So if you look, okay, on the second row, can you see where it's got passé intérieur? And can you see that it's in grey? Yes? Can everybody see that? Yeah, Brendan, I think it should still be in grey for you, my darling. It's just you have to click on the drop down arrow. Yes. Can I hear your voices because I'm not looking at you? Can you say if you can see where it says passé intérieur? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see it.
You got it all. Okay. Can you see that it's grey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That basically means you ain't going to see that too fucking often. It's in archaic shit. All right. Can you then come down to the subjunctive? Can you see that we've got the imperfect subjunctive? Yeah? Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And can you see that we've got the pluperfect subjunctive? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
As we go now, I shall ring you back, and I'll just go on the phone and we talk about dogs. We're going to very quickly, so anybody that's leaving, watch the last 5 minutes of this. We're going to very quickly talk about how we form the imperfect subjunctive and how we form the those ones. So we'll go over them again next time, but just to start looking at them, can you just actually very quickly look at it now for me? Can you look at the passé intérieur? What is the auxiliary of the passé intérieur? What tense is ut, doing, Brendan? What tense is ut, on the passé intérieur? We'll talk about when we use it next time, but what tense is that?
It's avoir.
In which tense?
Like j'ai
Not the whole
eu,
thing, my darling, not the whole thing, just the u bit. What tense is that from?
That is the passé sampler.
That's what we've just done today in the have form, isn't it? And as
Yeah.
you'll notice, because it's a compound form, we've got a compound tense, we've got our fucking normal past participle. If we were looking at the verb to be in the middle, Brendan, what would that be? So if I had, for example, the verb go, what would that be in the passé intérieur? Don't worry about when we use it, I'll talk about that next time, but what would that be? Instead of eu parler, what would it be for go? Fur, lovely, lovely. All right. Now drop your eyes down, Stuart, to the subjunctive imperfect. If you were a Spanish speaker or an Italian speaker, you'd be using this every day of your life. This is completely normal. Completely normal. It's where in English we would go to anything like hypothetical, like if you were. So He has eaten. Like, okay, comiste, comió, ha comido. He had eaten, había comido. If he'd eaten, si hubiese comido. We've got an alternative version, you know, avessi, whatever, mangiato in Italian. We've got a hypothetical, subjunctive, imperfect going on there. Okay, those languages do it. We don't do it in French. We haven't done it in a long time, but it used to be the case. So you're going to see it very commonly after expressions that create the subjunctive, where we need the had, most commonly. So in other languages, the past subjunctive, the imperfect subjunctive, exists if you were like, I am happy that Claire is learning French, or that Claire knows French. I was happy that Claire knew French. In modern French, we wouldn't bother. We'd just say, alors moi j'étais content que Claire sache le français, or que Claire ait su, which is the subjunctive past subjunctive. But in archaic French, I was happy that Claire, subjunctive. So it's still going to have the creation rules of the subjunctive, but it's going to go into the imperfect subjunctive. So we're going to commonly use the imperfect subjunctive itself, and we're going to use it as the auxiliary on the pluperfect subjunctive. All right. So that's why we need to know the imperfect subjunctive. Would you quickly, before we leave then, look at the imperfect subjunctive form? Parlas, parlas, parla, hat, ti. And that's what you're going to say. Parlas, parlas, parla, hat, ti. Because it sounds like your normal parla, doesn't it? Yeah. Parlation, parlasier, parlas. Please remember that we have the eon and the ea in your normal subjunctive, don't we? Like for most of the time, you know, fast, fastion, facier, fast. So basically, if you now just go to the top, and if you go to where it's got French conjugation, and if you just quickly typed in, let's say, finir. No, finir will complicate things. Let's say prendre. Okay, so could you type prendre at the very top? If you can't find it, 2 minutes more, and then we're going to go and chill with the dogs. So if you could just type this. Okay. If you could just click on this and have a little look-see. Yep. So I'd like you to, Nathan, what is the imperfect subjunctive of the verb prendre that we've got there?
Pris, had I.
What is the passé simple of the verb prendre?
Pris.
So can you see the link between pris, prision, prisier, pris? So what do you think it would be, Tom, if I had couru? So what pattern? What am I adding to pris? You know, prision, prisier, pris. If I went with that same letter structure after couru, what would that give me, Tom? So the imperfect subjunctive of ran. Couru.
Courus.
Couru. Yeah, don't give me the third one. Carry on. Courution.
Courution, courisier, couris.
Courus. Yeah. All right. So Tom, stay with me. If I had the verb be, what's the passive simple of the verb be?
Fou.
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 Yeah. So what would that be in the imperfect subjunctive?
Fus.
Go all the way down.
Fus.
No, third
Fusion.
one. No. Fus, fu, which is like the hat, but no S. Yeah, no S. Stuart, remember this. The third one has no S. When you come to look at this, the third one, most important one, people, isn't it? The most important one you're going to see the most is not going to have the thing on it. All right. So fus, fu, hat, T. I always say hat T. Yeah, okay, because he's got the hat and the T. Lovely. Carry on, Tom. Fusion.
Fus, fu, fusion, fusier, fus.
Say hat T. Say hat T. Yeah, so I know
Fus,
that. Yeah.
Fus, fu, hat T, fusion, fusier, fus.
Stuart, can you now say the passé simple of had? Have? What is it? What's the passé simple of have? I can't hear you. Your microphone, Stuart.
As usual.
Good. So therefore, so in our normal passé simple, ut, muttera, but our new pattern is hat t, sion, ca. So could you now give me the imperfect subjunctive, Stuart, of the verb to have?
Us, ut.
Don't say the T. We say u hat T. Just say hat T for the moment. You'll understand why. So you don't confuse it with the passive sampler. So us u hat T.
U hat T. Usion, usia, us.
Good man. And you realise what I'm saying? Hat, like the accent in the T. So your other two tenses are just going to be auxiliary, Brendan, of passive sampler. So you've learned passive sampler and imperfect subjunctive. Passive sampler on the auxiliary, imperfect subjunctive on the auxiliary. That's it, fucking nothing else in French, apart from various archaic forms of, oh, if he had only done this, which is like an imperative, past imperative, which is another imperative at the bottom, which is very, very, like, whatever, archaic. All right. So basically, those four are the ones to do. So in other words, we will be looking at those next time. We might not use them again. It's all this does, I'll be really honest with you, is locks in how much you feel comfortable with the passive sampler, because you'll be like, shit, that shit's fucking easy. Yeah. So you just think it's like, you know, I realized, je me suis rendu compte. I realized in a book, je me fus rendu compte. Oh, sorry, je me rendis compte. I had realized. Je me fus rendu compte. Although I realized, bien que je me rendisse compte, although I was realizing, versus the action, although I had realized, bien que je me fusse rendu compte. Do you understand? So it's like, so je me suis rendu compte, je me rendis compte, je me fus rendu compte. Je me fusse rendu compte. Do you see how all of those options would exist? Yeah, and I think that's a really cool thing for second language speakers to have. I really, really do. And then you can just recognize any shit, and then we can get back to doing normal speech. Right, I'm going to call you back. I'm going to walk around and see the dogs. If you answer, you answer. If you don't, you don't. Well done. So homework is to have a good old look at that imperfect and that pluperfect subjunctive. Get those formulations down. I give you rendre. Fine, rondi. What's the subjunctive? Rondis, rondis, rondi. Hat t, rondition, rondissier, rondis. You know, all of this business. Make sure as well that you've looked at, irregulars. So, for example, if I went to venir, you know, you've got van, you know. So you've got exactly the same shit. Vance, vance, vance. Vin, hapti, vincion, vincier, vince. Very, very loyal. Yeah, it's very, very, very loyal. If I went to mourir, which is your other one, which is obviously, you know, your weird messed up shit is mouru in the passé simple. We've got mourus, mourus, mouru, hapti, mourusion, mourusier, mourus. For all it's archaic, it's very, very loyal. And I think that is such an achievement if you guys know those. And we'll talk in detail about how we use them next week. Good, I'm going to ring you right back. We'll do some normal sentences and we're going to look at the dogs for whatever. If you don't answer, that's fine, Brendan, or my love. Otherwise, I'll call you right back and we'll do some normal shit.